some more
Okay,
structure.
and we are live. We are live. Happy Wednesday, happy Wednesday, happy Wednesday. Hi, see you go. I see you drinking whatever you're drinking. I would say you're drinking some lemon water. I'll say that. How
Well,
you
you know
doing?
your daughter well, but this isn't lemon water. But
Okay.
I'm doing great.
All right, all right. Happy Wednesday, happy Wednesday, happy Wednesday. Hello, I'm Robert Henderson Jr., certified financial planner, certified tax coach, and the CEO, founder of the Henderson Financial Group. Joining me live, my beautiful, wonderful, talented daughter, Hyacinth Henderson. Hi, Hyacinth Renee Henderson. Um, she's not in the studio, and we're gonna have a wonderful show for you. First, Hyacinth, introduce them. I'm so happy to see you. Like I ain't seen you in a while.
Oh my God, do you miss
You've been
me?
out of town, yeah.
You miss me? I miss you too. I can't wait to get back. I hear y'all got a storm down there or something.
Well, on the west coast of Florida, we're on the east coast, southeast. So
So we're
hopefully
gonna send
everything's be
some
all right.
right, we're gonna send some juju for my flight. I can get back.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. For your
Yeah.
flight, make sure you get back.
Yes.
Okay,
All
tell
right, so
people
I'm
who you
Hyacinth.
are.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm Hyacinth Henderson. I'm the co-CEO of the Henderson Financial Group. The Henderson Financial Group was founded 30 something years ago by my father, Mr. Henderson. I am a registered investment advisor representative, a licensed stockbroker, annuity and insurance broker, mortgage broker.
Yeah, all that.
Above all, I enjoy teaching people about their money and their mindset. I am the money mindset lady. I absolutely love what I do. I I love what I do. And so
You've been
yeah,
doing it
Henderson
for a while
Financial.
too, man. You've been doing it for a while.
22 years now.
23 now.
So
Yeah.
when I tell people that, they be like, "How old are you?" They be wanting to ask. Some of them be like, "What?" And I, what I say is from the delivery room to the desk. My daddy took me from the delivery room to the desk.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was snow cones when you were 7, 8 years old. But at 20, and you was 20 years old. Yeah. So he's been doing it for like 23 years. That's
Yeah.
something, man. So, you know what? That brings me segue to our topic today. And the topic today, we're going to talk about the powers of commitment and discipline. Whoa. 20. I guess if you're doing something for over 20 years,
Listen.
pretty much committed. And that's discipline there, right? Would you say?
Yeah. And the interesting thing about all of this is when I look back, because now I'm at the point where I experience bits of nostalgia and I look back and I understand on a grander scheme of things because I got some more sense now, right? I'm aware of the sense that I have and I can put it together. Yes, I have been committed and disciplined. I would not be where I am today without a level of commitment and discipline to the things that move the ball forward. Because as we talked about off.
Oh no, you froze up. Oh, I see. You froze up. Can you believe that? I can't believe you froze.
Am I back?
Yeah, you back now. Ah,
Okay.
are you on the
Is it me? Is it
are
you?
you on
Is
Wi-Fi?
it we? I'm on Wi-Fi. I don't know if I could ground in. Okay,
Oh
we're
yeah.
gonna try it again. What I said? What's the last thing you heard me say? Mm, it
Um
was good too, if I do say so myself.
yeah, just repeat it. Just repeat it. Can you
What's up?
remember
What
what you
was
said?
I saying? Let me see. Come here, baby, come back. Baby, okay. So,
You
yes.
said
Oh, so at this point, to where I am now, yes, I have been committed and disciplined to a certain level. However, in my reflections, and this is a me thing, sometimes I'm like, what if I was even more committed? What if I was even more disciplined, right? So I'm sharing that because when you are committed and disciplined and consistent and disciplined, and you start to get to the point to where the results where you're able to rest in your results and really look back, you will get to the point that you may feel like, oh, I could have done more, which will fuel you and remind you that there's always more to do. Not to the point of burnout, but you start to appreciate the power of consistency. You start to appreciate the power of discipline when it gets hard, right? So I'm doing a couple of things now that are challenging, but because of my past experiences and where I am now, I now have the benefit of reminding myself, girl, if you just keep doing it and doing it and doing it well and doing it and doing it and doing
power of
it,
repetition. One of my favorite things, right?
then right, you will achieve your goal, right?
Right.
So it's a thing. But yeah, here we are.
So I was talking to this young lady, and I wanted to have this conversation live, is because I realized as I was talking to this young lady that there's a great number of people that have a problem with committing, making a commitment, and being disciplined about anything. I mean, really. And as I was talking to her, and I say, when you really look at the grand scan of everything, you can't really. There's not much you can accomplish or be successful at without really, really getting a grip on commitment and discipline. I mean, I can't think of anything that has been achieved without commitment and discipline, because it takes that. You have a lot of failures, a lot of people, not doing nothing. I mean, you have 340 million people in America. Only about 150 million people actually file income taxes. Did you know that? Everybody don't, and you would think that when they say that unemployment and employment statistics, they're not talking about every human being. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, you're talking about 150 million people that, actually employed, and even 150 million, all of them don't file income tax and pay taxes. So there's a lot of people who have committed to nothing. I mean, nothing, or have discipline. And when you think about it, that's why a lot of the jails and imprisonments, in prison, are filled. And that's called, for lack of discipline. I told you, don't do it no more. You can't do this. And you're like, oh, I can't, and even addiction rises from a lack of discipline, of any kind, and a lack of commitment. Because, as we were talking earlier, Heisey, every once in a while, I'll do like a 3-day fast. And I just finished, this is my last day doing a 3-day fast. And I realized that we, as human beings, we really have made food a social event, where, and we've committed to doing that until it has making a lot of us sick. A lot of us are eating ourselves to death, and when you think about, what are you committed to, and a lot of us are committed to the wrong things that are not really helping us progress in life. And we're not even conscious of it. It's unknowingly doing things and making a lot of mistakes that we're not even aware of. What do you think about that? To not be aware. We ought to do a show on the power of awareness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you talk about unconsciously and not being aware, what comes to mind is we must take full control of our minds, right? A lot of times we believe that we have control over our minds, and we don't. We're just operating out of habit and or following patterns in the crowds, and we're not taking the time out to think and really regain control of our minds and make decisions that are best for us, not make decisions based on what others say, not make decisions based on how it's always been done, which is tradition, not make decisions based on our trauma, not make decisions based on our culture, but really sit back and make decisions that are best for us and where we desire to go. So when you start talking about people just doing things, the immediate thing that comes to mind is we have to get to a space to where we take full control of our minds and understand, overstand, and understand that taking full control over your mind is going to absolutely positively look like going the opposite way. Right? So if you've been going one way, following the crowd, following your family, following the boss, following the masses, and you decide, today I'm going to take full control over my mind, understand that you're going to go the opposite way. Right? And there's an acclimation period and process there where it's like, oh, shoot, this is unknown. This is new. This is uncomfortable. Am I doing the right thing? So then when we get back to today's topic, which is commitment and discipline, a lot of times, first of all, I believe that we're all committed to something. We're committed. You may not be committed to your excellence. You may not. You're committed. You are committed to
whether you know it or not. Right.
you're committed, right? Whatever it is. And it may not be, you may not be committed to your excellence. You may not be committed to your desired outcome. You may not be committed to your greatness, but you are committed to something. So when we put that on the table, then we can say, okay, if I'm already committed to something, maybe the commitment or the lack of commitment is not really the issue. Maybe the issue is I need to take full control over my mind and commit to the things that I desire, and commit to my excellence, and commit to my purpose, and commitment to my greatness. Because every human being that was put on this planet, if you're still breathing, is because you're here to be great. Right. So when we talk about commitment, I want to unpack that a lot, because a lot of times people are like, well, I don't have commitment. Yes, you have commitment, but why are you committed to this? Well, you're committed to this because you have not taken full control over your mind and gone against the grain. Like, you have got to go against the grain. You have got to go against the crowd. Oh, but how do I do that? Well, now you're going to have to shift your commitment from being committed to your mediocrity, being committed to silliness and stupidness, to shifting your commitment to being committed to something new, being committed to the uncomfortableness, being committed to change, being committed to, I've never been here before. I don't know how it's going to work out, but I'm going to do it anyway. And I think that's a big, big thing for people. A lot of times people don't want to take the step forward because they don't know how it's going to work out, or they never did it before. And I'm like, yeah. You don't know how it's going to work out because you've never did it before. But if you do it, then you will eventually know how it's going to work out. But you have to first be what? Committed to that. I said a lot. Did I answer your question?
A lot.
What did you even ask me?
But as you was talking, I was thinking about examples, because I like to give people examples. Mm-hmm. I this morning I had Moses, the piano teacher. He was at my house early this morning because I had piano lessons. And those of you all, I take piano lessons just for my left brain, right brain, just to keep me going. You know what I mean? And I've been doing it for a long time, and I just like to do it. And I learned Beethoven's a piece by Beethoven, and it's called Moonlight and Sonata. Now, most people can't play that song. It's very difficult. If you have the sheet music, it's 6 pages. So front and back, it's a 6-minute song. Most of the songs we hear on the radio and whatever, it's like 2-3 minutes long. This song, this piece by Beethoven is 6 minutes. I learned how to play that by memory, without even reading the notes. I learned how to play that, and the teacher is so amazed that I learned how to play the full 6-minute Beethoven song by just memory. So I learned it the first time, and after I learned it, I played it. I didn't play it again in 6 months. And I got ready to play it, and I said, oh my God, I forgot some of it. So I learned it again. We went over it again 2 times. And I learned it the second time. And I could just wild out with it, just play. Those of y'all, if you want to understand or pick up what I'm putting down, just Google or just go to YouTube and say Beethoven, Moonlight and Sonata. Once y'all hear that, y'all can go, okay, I know that song. I've heard that song in movie scores and all that. But it's 6 minutes long. So I learned it for the second time by heart, without even reading, with my eyes closed, just knowing the notes and everything. And do you know, after I learned it for the second time, I got so busy, and I was playing other stuff, and I got so busy, I came back to it, and I forgot half of it again, in memory. So I said, oh my God. So now I said, this third time I'm going to learn. I said, this time I'm committed. I'm never going to not know how to, in other words, I'm never going to forget how to play each note in the whole song through for 6 minutes. So Moses bet me. I told him, I said, I'll bet you $100. I don't care if it's next year or 3 years from now. You say, play Beethoven, Moonlight Sonata. I'm just going to run it off, And I have committed to doing that. And that I have that discipline. And I love that because it challenges my potential. And I love doing that. He says, Moses has been playing piano for 40 years, and he plays in bands. He played, orchestras. He's pretty good. And he says most of his colleagues can't play that song. And he said, when he tells them that I played the whole Beethoven song in memory, they can't believe it. And that's because I committed to doing that. And I had discipline. So now I'm going to keep that. So those are little small steps that I challenge myself, because I was talking to this young lady and she was saying that she's a foodie. She wants to lose weight, but she said she just can't do it. And I told her that's part of the problem right there. When you say you can't do something, you can't do it. Whatever you say is true, is right, because your belief is everything, And she said she really wants to lose weight, but she'll go and she'll eat right for 2 days, 3 days. Next thing you know, she just eats really bad, and because she's a foodie. And that's dealing with commitment, and it's dealing with discipline. And I have, like I said, I have not found anything. The licenses that we have, Heisey, what we do in the financial space, the financial services industry. I mean, we have to commit to learn things over and over for the rest of our lives, because the industry and the finance and taxes, all this stuff forever changing. It's not stagnant. It continues to grow, develop, and change. The laws, the rules. To be in this field, you have to really commit to learning and dedicate your life to it. So you can't just do it for money. You got to do it because you like it. You into it, It's like some people just like to dance. Some people just like music. You have to really like this stuff in order to. The rewards are pretty great, but you don't get the rewards until after you've done the work. And that's pretty much with everything, So if someone's having problems about committing, just take one step and do something. When I do the fasting for 3 days, it really is not me losing weight. It really is about me honoring me and just sharpening up my commitment and discipline. Do I think about food for the first 2 days? First day or something, I say, but after the third day, like the day is, I'm like, oh my God, I'm not even hungry. It's amazing how what we don't know about our bodies. Before I started fasting, I didn't even know you could not eat nothing, just drink water for 3 days and still be alive. I thought you had to eat something. Isn't that something? So that's a discovery. But you kind of knew that because you were all into the body and the foods and all that kind of stuff. But most people, I would say most people don't know what I'm saying. They never experienced it. And most people say, you're crazy. You don't eat nothing for 3 days? You're crazy. I mean, but have you ever tried it? And I'm all for doing something and going places like Star Trek, going where we've never been before. That's what life is for me. I like the adventure. I like the growth, the development, the unknown, as long as we're safe, What do you say?
As long as we're safe? Yeah. I don't know that you can guarantee safety when going into the unknown. Well,
I'm not going to do anything where automatically I could die.
Okay.
I'm not going to drink something that could kill me. You know what I mean?
And just see, like let me see if it okay, I got it. So, but let's go back. So thank you. I love all the examples and things that you shared. I know that they give the audience and listeners a lot to connect to, and then we're going to unpack it. So I want to go back to the beautiful example you shared with us about you learning piano and that song that's 6 minutes long. So first of all, the name is important to you, Beethoven Sonata. It's important. It's important.
Moonlight and Sonata.
Moonlight and Sonata. And this is so important. It's proving the point, right? So you see, you all are witnessing Mr. Henderson be excited and talk about something that he's committed to, and correcting me when I partially say the name because it's something that is important to him. So I brought this back to the conversation because I wanted you to think about, when you think about what am I committed to, when you think about shifting your commitment, you might want to shift your commitment to something that is of great importance to you, not to somebody else, not to your boss, not to external circumstances, not to what the tradition says, but shift your commitment to things that are important to you. And then when you shift your commitment to things that are important to you, you're streaming this live on my Facebook. This is inappropriate. This is supposed to be streaming on my YouTube, not my Facebook, but okay. Thank you, Mr. Henderson. I just realized that.
Oh, I don't know. Well,
okay.
You change it.
Okay. All right. But yes, here we are. So when you shift your commitment to things that are important to you, then I want to say that helps you, but it makes the process a little more like, okay, I'm in it. You have more vested interest in it when you shift the commitment to things that are important to you. The problem is oftentimes we are committed to things that are not important to us. We're committed to things that external circumstances say we should be committed to. We're committed to things that traditions say that we should be committed to. So that's one of the things I wanted to bring to the conversation, is to ask you, what are you committed to and what is your why, right? So when you talk about your 3-day fast and you say, well, Hyacinth, you're into the body and things like that, it brings me back to when I first stopped eating, started exploring different diets. And that was in high school. That was my 11th grade year in high school. And when I was in high school, before it was popular, I stopped eating red meat. And I stopped eating red meat because I was getting headaches every day. And I was getting headaches every day. My mom was like, well, you eat burgers and steak every single day. Why don't you try to stop eating red meat? And so it was not my commitment to, I'm not going to eat red meat. It was my commitment to understanding and exploring, why am I in high school and getting headaches every single day? And so once I stopped eating the red meat and I stopped getting the headaches, then I was like, oh, okay, it's not about meat is bad or whatever the case may be. I was committed to feeling better. As I got older and started studying more and exploring, turns out I'm blood type A. Red meat is a big no-no for blood type A, which ties into my knowing that your inner being and your body will always tell you which way to go, right? So before I read the book that said red meat is poison to your body, before I read that, my body was telling me. My body was like, hey, you're having a headache every single day. This is not normal. So I shared that example because I want you, as you go through your journey of exploring what you're committed to and changing your commitments, think about it on a larger scale. What is your why? Why are you committed to this? And why would you like to be committed to something different? I always tell people that it's really about the money. We're going to need some money. You need it because you need to be able to do things and make moves and to give and to be an example. But when you're only committed to the money, understand that you're going to fall short every single time. Your commitment has to be larger than to the money. I don't read the books and study and take the courses and obtain the licenses because I can make a lot of money. Like I can make a lot of money doing whatever I want to do. I read the books and study and take the courses and obtain the licenses because I know that it is, in fact, my purpose to educate people and teach people and empower people. And how can I do that without the knowledge and the information and then applying it? Right. So, and because of that, because I understand what my purpose is and I'm committed to that, because I don't just want to be out here struggling. I'm committed to doing what I was birthed to do. Then I know that I have to be committed to learning, educating, walking a certain walk. And because of that, I get money. Now, it's not the opposite. It's not, I'm going to get money, so I'm going to do this. So I want everybody not to miss that when you're thinking about what you're doing and you're making your intentional shift in commitment, because you have to be intentional about it. If you're not intentional about what you're committed to, you'll be committed to some foolishness and you won't even know like how you got there. Like, how did I end up here?
But yeah, let's stop right there. You said a mouthful right there when you said that. Because most people, a lot of people, even adults, people over 50 years old, they're still trying to figure out, they're trying to find something where they can make a lot of money doing. But that's at first glance. After you find something, a field that makes a lot of money, oh, you just started now. Now it's getting ready to shift. Now the commitment takes precedence way over the money. You have to be committed and you have to be good at what you do. Then the money becomes backstage. So when and most people want to, the latest little trinkets, or latest little fad, latest little buy gold or whatever, you know what I mean? But I tell people all the time, like you just said, it first it comes across like, oh, this big thing, you can make a lot of money doing that. You should go into that field. But there's a lot of people that went into the medical field. There's a lot of people that went into the legal field, went to college, went to Harvard, because they chose a field where they thought they could be a lawyer or they could be a doctor where they can make a lot of money. That's at first glance. Then when they got into the field, they discovered they didn't really like that. They didn't care about the money. It made them feel bad. They didn't like it at all. They said they didn't like lawyers just lying. It's not about the truth. It's about what you can prove. They didn't think the law was like that. They didn't get into it in terms of medicine. They didn't think that it was all about a business and everything. They didn't think that. So they said they didn't like it anymore. So that's where when you commit with something, I'm telling you, when you really commit, you like you said, you got to be interested in it. And when you be interested, you become really good at it, then the money automatically flows. But most people can't get past that commitment stage of everything. I get a case in point. Being an NBA player, or a lot of people want to be NBA player or NFL player. Oh my God. Once you get up there, it's a lot of work. You're like, I ain't doing this. You know what I mean? And then if you want to make a lot of money, you got to do this first. Like, no. I just want them had a title. No. You can't just say you want to get into something and make a lot of money. You can say that, but I got news for you. The real will show up, and it's wrapped in commitment and discipline. And if you can't pass that, you can't go to the next goal. You can't move. So go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say it's the commitment and discipline to really learning about the thing, knowing the thing, understanding the thing front and back. As you're giving examples of different professions where people are like, oh, you can make a lot of money. I want to do this because I want to make a lot of money. Well, you can always tell the professional or the person who has the title or the license and their goal is to make a lot of money versus the person who is really into it, because the person whose goal is to make a lot of money and they're not into it. And it could be both. Let me say this. I believe I live in an and world. You can be both. You can have a goal to make a lot of money and you can absolutely be into it and perfect your craft, study your craft, sharpen your belt. However, oftentimes, most times, many times, people choose one. A lot of people don't live in an and society. They live in an either or. Either I'm gonna make a lot of money or I'm going to just sacrifice myself and learn all this and just do it for the people and give all my services and time away for free. That ain't me. It's not me. Not me. And I'm also not on the other end of the spectrum. But what I was saying is, you can always tell the people who are really into it versus those who only want the fame and the glory, because the people who are really into it, and this is with any industry, they know what they know front, back, side to side. They know strategy. They can explain it in different ways. They can help you out of problems. And you're like, why didn't anyone else tell me? It's like when people come to our office, why didn't they tell me this? Because they're not in it. They're just doing a job. They're just doing a job to get paid. The number one thing I hear with people with retirement is, why didn't my HR tell me this? Why didn't they tell me this when they was coming out to my job, telling me about this 401k or telling me about this IRA and defer? Why didn't they tell me this, baby? They're not in it. They want a job. They want a paycheck. They want a salary. They want a 401k. They want medical benefits. They're not into financial planning and financial services like we are. So I'm not upset that they didn't tell you like that. They just did their job and they're like, hey, do this, do that. And now when you get here to a company of people who are really in it, we eat, sleep, breathe, study this on Mondays and twice on Saturdays, not Sundays, because Ms. Henderson is off on Sundays, twice on Saturdays. Then you're like, oh, wait a minute. Why didn't they tell me this? They're bad. No. They're not bad. This is a perfect example of someone who is in it versus someone who's not in it. Another profession that comes to mind is realtors. We have so many realtors. People want to become realtors because they want to make a lot of money. But until you are committed, right, to your craft and learning about a market, it's so many different niches in real estate that you can really just be committed and disciplined and learn about a niche, a market, whether it's high rises, whether it's buy and sells, whether it's flips, you can learn about. But the problem is you got your real estate license because you wanted to make 3%, 6% commission because you did the math and you're like, oh, if I sell a house for $1 million or 500 and times this and carry the one over and back out this expense, I'm rich, right? But you ain't sold one house because you're not committed and discipline, and you don't understand. And here it is, someone else who has put in the time to become committed and disciplined to learning about the thing frontwards and backwards. They closing deals left and right. They're closing deals. They're not using the excuse that the economy is this. There ain't nothing wrong with the economy. You just don't know enough. Go back and learn some more.
That's true, because that's what I was saying. Most people get fooled by the smoke screen by saying, I want to do this and do that. But that sounds good at first glance. But then you got to go through the woods. You got to go through the jungle. You just can't get the pot of gold that's just sitting there. You got to go through over the river and through the woods, man. Everything that's really good takes you through over the rivers and through the woods. It looks like it's just right there for you. No. It's like seeing a diamond inside of an encase, a glass, and it's on display. You're like, oh, I'm just reaching there and get it. No, it's locked up. You just can't take your hand and get it. You know what I mean? It's locked up. You
either got the money for it, you're gonna pay for it, or you're gonna steal it, right? Which one? Right. So let's unpack this, right? So, and this is real life, right? But we're using the example of the diamond. However, this applies to everything, right? So you see that big shiny diamond and you walk upon the thing. In this example, we're using the diamond and you're like, oh, you look and most places they hide the tag, the price. So you kind of break your neck to see if you can see, and you see all them zeros back there and you one or two things, right? Do I have the money for it? Am I going to get the money for it? Or I gotta get that, right?
I'm steal it.
Jack boys, right?
Crime, crime, and everything else will come with that crime.
Exactly. That's my point. Everything else comes with that. So understand that if you take the route of, you know what, I'm gonna just break the glass. They ain't got no real, they ain't got the Ford tough glass. I'm gonna
You're
just
breaking the law.
right. But then know what comes with that, right? You're
You
not
break
gonna sleep
yourself.
peacefully, you're not gonna
Yeah.
live happily. So I love this topic. I love talking about commitment. I do want to talk about the fact that I know that it can be challenging to shift your commitment. I know that it can be challenging to change your commitment. I'm not sitting up here telling you that, oh, yes, it's so easy. We study and we read and we wouldn't rather be in the south of France. Like, I'm not sitting up here saying we study and we read and we'd rather be catching up on the show that, 2 seasons ago, I haven't watched it. So let's talk about how you get past those feelings of doing what you ought to be doing when you don't feel like doing it.
Yeah.
Like, how do you get past that?
Yeah, that's being able to master yourself, but you have to, your desire, you have to want it. I remember I did a show with Linda years ago, probably 10 years ago. And I said, and she debated with me, and I said, most people just say things, but they don't really, really believe it or really, really want things. There's a lot of people that say they want to live and be prosperous, but that's like being a little kid saying, that's my car. That's my car. In the cars you sit on the stoop, go by. That's not reality. You have to be proactive in order to do things. And I've never, ever seen anybody accomplish any goals without a trade-off or a sacrifice. You have to be able to do that. And once you start doing that and you start achieving your goals, and that comes with the territory. Okay, you should say, what do I have to do? What I have to do in order to achieve my goal. And then that's all you have to find. What do I have to do? I know it's something here. I know it's a booby trap. I know it just sounds good, whatever. But tell me, what do I have to do? And I will see if I'm up to speed to doing that. It's like, okay, you want to get a medal and running a marathon, half marathon. Do you know you got to run 13 miles? Oh, I do. It's like you always have to do something that involves discipline and commitment. There ain't no other way around it. Even doing something illegal. Okay, let's take, for example, a drug dealer. A lot of people, why people will hang around a drug dealer, whatever, because they make a lot of money? Because they like the money. They like the after. They like the results. They like the effect. The guy's walking around bling bling. Everybody know Julio is the drug dealer, and they know that. But let me tell you something. Most people don't want to do what Julio do. Julio can't sleep at night. They at him. The feds, the women, the other gangsters, and all that. That is difficult. Julio actually made the commitment to go through the river and through the woods because he wanted the money. Most people say, I'm not going to do that. But that same scenario, whether it's legal or illegal, comes along with everything that's worthwhile in life. If the more you want to have, the more you want to achieve, you have to go through the river and through the woods. Now, my river and through the woods might not be as hard as your river through the woods. It depends on how committed you are and how disciplined you are. And that's when the power of repetition. I always talk about that. Heist used to tease me about repetition. Let me tell you something. You don't have to be a genius and be smart. You can rep it. If you rep it and rep it and rep it and rep it and rep it, it becomes second nature, and you just know how to do it. It really, really does. So anything that appeared to be hard, if you say, listen, I want to change my career. Right now, what's happening is cyber security. You say, I don't know anything about cyber security, but I hear they make $100,000 starting out. What is that? You don't have to know what it is. All you need to do, first of all, you said it make $100,000. They make $150,000 a year being a cyber security person. That sounds good. Now you got the cheese. You know what the cheese is? The gift, $150,000. Now here comes over the river and through the woods. Can you do it? Can you do you have what it takes in order to get that gift? Because it ain't just going to be a layup, because everybody would do it. The janitor who's sweeping the floor, he would stop working the janitor and sweeping floors and go get that. But can he commit? They give you a stack of books that look like and they give you a stack of books like with no pictures to tell you, if you want that, you got to do this. How many people say, nah, I ain't doing that?
Yeah. Like the Britannica encyclopedia from back in the days. 80s baby here, right? Books with no words, books with no pictures. But something came up I wanted to talk about. Okay, so let's acknowledge that what we are saying it. And I want to say this. I feel like I said this a second ago, but I really want to express the fact that we know that it's challenging. It's challenging. I'm I don't want anyone to make the mistake of thinking that we are minimizing the fact that committing to something different and changing what you're committing to is going to challenge you. I don't want to minimize that. It's hard. I also want to remind you that hard does not mean impossible.
It's
hard.
Yeah,
it's hard. It's hard. And I want to say that because I don't want people to watch this and then be like, yeah, I'm picking up what they're putting down. And then as soon as they run into that first resistance, that first indication of hardness or challenge, they're like, oh no, Mr. Henderson, this ain't what they was talking about. This not for me because I'm getting some resistance. This not for me because it's a little hard. It's not for me. It can't be for me because it's challenging. I don't want anyone to believe that. And so I want to say that. And I also want to say that when I talked about taking control over your mind and renewing your mind, you're going to have to shed the old you. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about that. You're going to have to shed. It's like you're going to get to the place that when people be like, you change, that you're like, yeah, I did.
Yeah. I want more.
You're going to have to shed because there is no way that you can be the you who you are. And I'm not talking about on a soul level. I'm talking about the you who you are as you identify with the actions, the behaviors, the friends, the places you go, the things you do, the food that you eat.
And get a different result.
It is virtually impossible.
Mathematically impossible. Numbers don't add up.
Impossible. And that's important because a lot of times we want to change what we're committed to. We want a new outcome. We want a new result, but we don't want to change us. We don't want to change me. We don't want to start changing what we eat. We don't want to start going outside and getting fresh air. We don't want to start a prayer and meditation practice. We don't want to start having new friends. We don't want to stop drinking every day. We don't want to stop smoking every day. We don't want to stop that. And then we sit there and we're like, how come I'm seeing or hearing about how I can be all that I want to be and do anything that I want, but it's not working for me, baby. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be challenging to stop drinking. It's going to be challenging to stop eating. Mr. Henderson was just talking about when I'm gluten-free, it was challenging for me to go gluten-free. Yes, I still want to eat some gluten. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. It's challenging. But I'm committed. I'm committed. And so it needs to be said. And why am I committed to eating gluten-free? Not because it's a fad or not because I want to be, yes, give me the gluten-free menu, but because I know how my body operates, right? And so I'm too many things to too many people, right? So if I have gluten and I eat gluten, then my brain starts breaking down. I'm sluggish. My body's breaking down. How am I going to be able to show up? So my commitment to, again, I told y'all my purpose is going to dictate my actions, right? Since I'm committed to my purpose and I know who I am and what I am to the people of the world, why I can't do the things. Yeah, I mean, I want to just have a margarita. One margarita, she was right. I know that so right. I want to have all the margaritas, but how am I gonna show up the next day? Now I'm hungover the next day.
So what you say in terms of, so we know that commitment and discipline they're cousins. Mm-hmm. They're cousins, and they are prerequisites in order to obtain and reach a goal. So having a goal is the ultimate. That's what you're trying to reach.
Yes. And let me say this. While you finish, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Okay. So having a goal, in order to have a goal, in order to achieve the goal, you need your two cousins. One is called discipline and one is called commitment. One is on this shoulder and that's so in order to reach a goal, whatever you're trying to do, you have to take those two tools with you, those two cousins. One's discipline and one is commitment. And they are tough. And reason why they're tough, because if you can get through them and master yourself and make yourself do all the things that you know you ought to do when you don't feel like doing it, that's why you get the prize. That's how you go to the next level. And believe it or not, when you get to that level and you say, okay, I want to go higher, you still got to take your two cousins with you. Commitment and discipline, because it's going to the next level. It's going to be hard. You got to do it all over. But that's how you continue to evolve and grow. And then people look at you and say, oh my God, you're different, or you're a genius. No, you're not. You understand the way how it works, how the universe works, and how being prosperous and how growing and developing, how it works. You have to go. I mean, you could just look at grade school. You know, a first grader has to pass first grade stuff in order to go to the second grade. And the second grade, you got to pass second grade stuff to go to the third grade. And once you get from middle school, elementary school, you got to pass elementary type work, mindset stuff to go to middle school mindset stuff. And then from middle school, you definitely got to have it to go to high school. Now, high school, some people say, oh my God, I don't have the mindset for the college stuff. And it's going to be difficult. But I'm telling you, these are the stages in life that each and every one of us have to deal with it in order to reach our goal. Don't limit your goal and don't run away from the challenges. We all are built for this, but we don't get told this enough. And that's why we're talking about this. Go ahead, Tyson.
Yes. I love it. I love that you brought goals to the conversation, because what I wanted to add on to that is that there is a 98.97% chance that your goal is too small. It's too small. It's too small. I don't even know you. And I know that there's a 98.97. Can you tell I just made that number?
Because it's easy. Because it's easy. That's why they make it small, because it's easy. You know what I mean?
It's too small. It's too small. It's too small. So if you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on, and learning, and if you're saying, I really, really, really want to change my life, do yourself a huge favor. Don't make your goal so small that you can put it off like, oh yeah, I didn't do it today, I can do it tomorrow. No, I can get that. No.
Yeah, hey, you're right, Heisey. Because some people will say, I just want to get a job. That's a small goal.
Yeah, your goal, and then let's bring this out a little bit more. There's a 99.97% chance that your goal is too small because of your environment and your surroundings, right? So this is why I always say clean up your timeline. Let me say this. If it comes to you, and I've said it before, and I firmly believe it, I know it. I don't believe it. I know this to be true. If it comes to you as a thought or as an idea, it is yours. It is available to you to bring it to fruition in your 3D manifested world. The creator, infinite intelligence, source, God, whatever term you want to use, would not give you an idea or a thought that you yourself could not make manifest in your time, space, 3D reality. Let's start there. If it comes to you, right? So now you're like, okay, Hyacinth, well, I've had these dreams or this feeling, or I wanted to do this. I always wanted to, but I can't do this. Okay, your goals are too small. Your goals are too small, and you are very likely spending too much time associating with small-minded people on your timeline, social media, small-minded people in your family, the first ops, small-minded people on your job, small-minded people that from your high school, you're spending too much time with small-minded people that are keeping you in this small-minded classroom. So when you have this download, this inkling like, oh, I want to do this, I can do this, you shrink to fit your environment. It's almost like you shrink to fit your environment because that's all you see. But then you have not taken the step or the time to say, let me get up out of here. Let me come up out of this room. You are in a mansion right now. I believe, telling y'all something that I tell myself. I am experiencing life in a big mansion right now. A mansion that has lots of rooms. I can feel your energy getting antsy. You got to go. A mansion that has lots of rooms and doors and all the things like that. I'm going to wrap this up. I'm experiencing life in this big mansion, right? Yes, it's outdoors, it's indoors, it has all this. The room that I am in right now, I know that if I open this door and walk out of this room, there's a room down the hall with even more, with greater, with things I haven't even seen, with people experiencing life in a different world. We're experiencing that. We're learning that about one of our celebrities, right? Diddy. We didn't even know a lot of that was going on and taking place. In this same mansion that we call life, down the hall in Hollywood and in New York, they was doing all that. You didn't even know they was doing it. You didn't know that existed. You could not believe. If you read the lawsuit, you couldn't believe. You clutching your pearls because you could not believe that was happening in this day and age. Forget Diddy. Forget that. Think about your goals, your dreams, your desires, the downloads that the creator gives you. All you got to do is walk out of the room that you're in with the small-minded people and go into a different room where there is opportunity, where there is support, where there are challenges, where there is education, where there is learning. And then you'll look back and be like, dang, I remember I used to be in this room. And when I was in that room, I didn't even know y'all was doing this over here in this room. It's like when you get to a new level, this how y'all act. I didn't know this how y'all fly. I know in business class they feed you, they wake you up to feed you. I didn't know this. I don't gotta pack my own snacks in business class. I didn't know they did this. right? Because you were not in that room. So I want you to zoom out with the examples that I'm giving you and apply this to your life. So to wrap up real quick, you need commitment, consistency. You're committed to commitment and discipline. You're committed to something already. This may be an instance where you need to shift your commitment. Right? We're going to shift your commitment to something that you already got the download. The creator already gave you the play and told you who you are. But you over here in the room with small-minded people that keep telling you, no, you're not. Nah, girl, that's too much. Girl, that don't exist. So you got to shift that. Be committed, be disciplined, and dream big. Have bigger goals.
Yes. Being committed to mediocrity. You don't want. Most people are committed to mediocrity. Just going home and watching the idiot TV, watching the box and eating something and going to sleep and doing the same thing over and over and over. That's a small goal. And we're not put here for that. But listen, I'm enjoying this, man. We could ride out for another hour, but I got a client. I got to do a Zoom. I got to do a Zoom meeting with a client here, Heisey.
Okay.
So
all right, let me go see the world. Let me go explore. Well, now
we have to pick this up again when you get back.
I'll do it next Wednesday. I could do it real quick.
You can do it next Wednesday?
Real quick. 12 to 1 on time. Then after that, I got to go.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Take us out because we got to go. I'm going to be doing this. James T and I will be here Saturday. Linda too. Linda's been coming on the show also. So Harry back. You get back tomorrow?
Yes. 6 a.m. flight out.
Okay.
Let me send some juju to the weather gods.
Yeah.
My flight.
Because that hurricane stuff and all that. You know what I mean? Dare I say most people I see mediocrity. That's true because most people said their goals were small. Now, what you say is the environment. It is. Yeah, people you hanging around. They all got small goals.
It's not possible. I'm gonna leave with this because I know you got to go, but that's something that I'm so passionate about. Like, you should not be hanging around nobody that's telling you what you can't do. You shouldn't be following nobody that's telling you. You should not, because here's the thing. If you see that one person has done it, even if you don't know this person, it could be somebody on the internet, somebody across the world. If you see that it has been made available to at least one person, that is your cue and indicator that it's available to you.
That's right.
That's your
automatically.
Full stop. It's your cue that it exists. And the creator that you serve, the God that you believe in, the infinite intelligence, the source that you believe in, they're not stingy or selfish. We only gonna make one. It only can be available to this one person and not to you. But I'm going to let you see it, but it's not for you. Nah, it don't work that way.
No, when you see it, that tells you right there that you can do it. And that's what the gift is from the creator, letting you know, because we all share and we all supposed to help each other and we do our thing. You say, oh, I want to do that. Oh, I see him doing that. Oh, I see him doing this. Yeah. So we're telling
you. That's why you're seeing it.
That's exactly why you're seeing it. So the day's show, go back and play this again and share it, because a lot of people need to hear it, because we don't talk about this much, because you're not alone and your thoughts, you're not alone. And yeah, you can do it, and you need to set your goals, and your goals need to be big goals. And I'm telling you, do the things that appear to be hard, because most people are not doing that. So if you do something and you accomplish something that appears to be hard, once you start doing it and doing it repetitiously, it becomes easy. Case in point, learning how to swim at one point was hard. It was hard. You threw up, you thought you was going to drown. But if you kept at it, you learned how to swim. Learn how to ride a bike. Oh my God, how many times did we fall? That was hard. These are indicators to let you know anything that's worthwhile, that's really good, is going to first appear to be hard. That's the key. So stop being an older person, 25, 40, 50, 60 years old, trying to do the easy stuff. The easy stuff is like having sugary, no nutritional candy. It's not good for you. It's not going to last. It's not going to be fulfilling, because the creator created you to be all you could be. So you need to be able to stretch yourself and go. You can't go to the gym and say, I'm a skinny man, but I want muscles, but I want to lift 5 pounds. Ooh, I had a good workout. I'm going to just lift this pen. Ooh, I had a good workout. You're not going to see anything. It's not going to be a change. You have to do something that's going to cause you to be a little sore the next day. And some people, once they're sore the next day, they don't go back. But let me tell you something. Once you sore the next day from exercising, you go back. You get sore and so, and guess what? You work the soreness out, and now you ain't sore no more. That's a fact. That's pretty much how life works when in the industry that you want to accomplish and what you want to get into. Stop saying that it's hard. Don't do the hard, don't do the soft, the easy stuff. Do what's hard. You want to be an engineer, you don't have to know anything about being an engineer. Just take page by page and you can learn it. I'm telling you, and your life will be better. You want to be all that you can be. Stop shortchanging yourself and having little small goals. I just want a job 9 to 5 to get benefits so that people can fire you.
Yeah. Okay, before we go on that note, before we go, I was thinking earlier, I was like, gosh, Mr. Henderson, which is my dad, by the way, because some of y'all are new here, my dad. And you had a birthday Sunday, and we
Yes.
didn't talk about it on the show. So now you're 66.
66, baby.
How does that
66. Feel like I'm 26.
Oh, God.
I feel good. Da-na-na-na-na-na. I knew that I would. I gotta go, man.
I'm trying to wrap up.
Okay, because I got a client at 1 o'clock, man. I gotta be there. Okay.
Good thing all you gotta do is walk downstairs. It's so special. That's all you got to do. You got to get in your car and drive nowhere.
No,
As I was saying, he went live. Mr. Anderson, my dad, went live on my personal Facebook page, which I generally don't do. I generally don't do this. It happens on the business page and on my YouTube.
It was in divine order.
Absolutely. And I was going to say he made a mistake, but it was done the way it needed to be done. However, I don't know if I'm going to keep going live on this page. So make sure you're following my YouTube under Hyacinth Henderson and our business page, the Henderson Financial Group page. All right.
Thank you so much, V. Thanks, V, for the birthday. Hey, Miss Redhead. Hey, thank y'all so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day and be safe. Hi, be safe getting back home, girl. All right. Love you.
Love you too. Later. Peace.